What is up, everyone? We are back with another episode of Smoke and Meteoras, the podcast where we talk about the moments that matter and the struggles talents face on the rise. I am joined tonight for my second episode of the day with Miss Adrianna Mosley. Thank you so much for joining this week. How are you doing today, girl?
Good, how are you?
Not too shabby. It's been a bit busy, but we got everything rolling. So let's just jump right on in. I start these podcasts off with the same question every time. And that question is, what is the dumbest thing you have done for wrestling?
Mm, Let me see. I would say get punched in the crotch, but I don't think that's pretty dumb. uh, Dance. I had a dance off, and it's like, why, out of all people, like I'm a, and it's crazy because I'm a like a mixed fit instructor, which is like kind of like dance, but a dance off really, like I think that's the dumbest thing.
All right. So let's take it back to the beginning before you even stepped into a training center. What was your earliest memories of wrestling and what do you think made it stick with you?
Um, 10 years ago. I didn't grow up on wrestling. Like I knew about WWE. Like I would play 2K with my cousin, and I was just like, this is so cheesy. I remember seeing Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker going at it. Um, and I just like ugh, this is so dumb. But going to like a show for the first time and remembering how that felt, just being able to interact one on one with the wrestlers, I think that's a memory that I'll always remember.
So, what do you think drew you into wrestling to even want to be involved in it? Do you feel it was maybe like the whole character building or the storylines or just the emotion behind everything? What do you think really drew you in?
I think it was the fan interaction, how people got so into it. A lot of people say that wrestling is fake, but the feelings are not fake.
So, when did you go from being more of a fan of it than to wanting to step into a ring yourself and wanting to do it?
I think it was a couple months after I started going to independent shows. I did know that there was a school at the time. I forget what it's called. I don't think it was Spine Busters. Um, I think it was Spine Busters, where it was not too far from me, but for some reason I didn't go to that one. But there was a different promotion. Well, I got under new management. They started a new school. So then I started there. But unfortunately, due to certain circumstances, I had to go to a different school. So then I started going up to CZW up north in New Jersey.
And when you did first start training, what did wrestling represent for you at that time?
It was like it was at the time, it was just like something that I could say that I was a part of, something that I could show off. And then when I started building my character more and started getting more invested, and even taking certain breaks, because I did get pregnant and then there was COVID, and then I had moved away. So just feeling like that feeling where someone's looking up to you, I realized this is something that's saving me because it pulled me out of a dark place.
So coming back to the whole coming out of a dark place thing, looking back, what do you think that version of yourself was looking for when you decided to step into the ring?
Acceptance.
Definitely. So, what was it like walking into training on that first day? Were you intimidated? Did you feel like you were kind of, this is my thing, I'm here, I'm ready to learn? What was running through your head?
I was definitely intimidated, even before I had started, because I know when I was speaking to um, Kevin Brittingham, bless his soul and rest in peace. He said, "Yeah, you got to try out. You're going to do a couple exercises, and we're going to have you roll, run the ropes." And I was like, I was at least 300 pounds at the time, so running was not in my vocabulary. So I was really intimidated because um at my previous school, the first school that I started, they had like a book, and it was like, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this in order for you to graduate or even participate in class. So I was definitely intimidated because I was not in the physical shape that I am in now.
So once you did get into the swing of things and you had a little bit of training under your belt, did you feel confident, or were you kind of second guessing yourself and wondering if this was really the right move for you?
uh are you talking about like when I first started?
Like when you had a little bit more training under your belt, like maybe like 3 to 4 months into training.
So I honestly, I got an ego. Because I had people like kind of like in my ear because I was a bigger woman. I was moving pretty good for my size. So I got that ego, and I always thought, oh yeah, like I'm good, I'm this and that. But really, um, I had a lot more I needed to work on.
So what was the hardest adjustment for you to make early on?
Um, Leaving my ego at the door. Um, Being a pro wrestler and people thinking that it's really cool. It gets in your head a little bit. So that was one thing that I had to really crack down on.
And how did you deal with learning that your ego was a problem and having to kind of pull back on that?
Face of reality. I had to, and even now I look back and I kind of cringe and I'm like, ugh. Um, just realizing that, um, like especially when people didn't want to deal with me so much, or I would always wonder why someone looked at me a certain way, or people just like kind of stayed away from me. That was the hard reality of, okay, maybe I'm not that kind of person that I think I am, and not everybody likes me, and they don't like this version of me.
So were there ever moments where you felt like you maybe didn't belong?
um Yeah. And even now, there are some times where I feel like I don't belong. And it's not me feeling like I'm bigger than or better than somebody. It's just the fact that, like, you want to surround yourself with people that want to see you do good instead of smiling in your face and talking crap about you behind your back. So, yeah.
So when you do go through those experiences, how do you deal with that feeling? I feel like everybody in the wrestling business at some point deals with a bit of bullying, so to say. And how do you deal with that feeling?
Uh, Before I would really let it harp on me. But now I kind of let it go. Like it hurts a little bit. I'll lie. I'd be lying if I said it didn't hurt, because I like to think that people are better than that. But also I look at how far I've come, and I realize that I'm surrounded that by people that do love me, that do support everything I do. So that's what kind of gets me back on track.
So getting into debuting and finally getting on the scene, how did you start to feel when you felt you had a voice in wrestling?
When people came up to me, specifically women that kind of looked like me, and they tell me that I'm an inspiration and that they want to be like me. Specifically, this one little girl, her mom was like, she's such a big fan of you. She wants to be like you one day. And that really just warmed my heart.
So was it hard to maybe speak up or advocate for yourself to stand out at first?
Yeah, it definitely was. Before I would be like a doormat. And even now I kind of struggle with that because I was a huge people pleaser. I still kind of am. But now it's just like you can't please everybody. Not everybody's going to be happy.
So to get a little more into an emotional side, being a bigger woman, and I myself have been there too, but what do you feel helped build your build confidence in yourself to continue moving forward and being the boss ass bitch that you are?
um, I will say like Nia Jax. Awesome Kong, just seeing how successful they are, and it's nothing against smaller women, um, but when people think of women's wrestling, I won't say everybody, but they think of the skinny, petite, cute girls with the nice chest and the nice little booty, and that's your ideal wrestler. Where you have women like Nia Jax, Sammy Chaos, Awesome Kong, Mickey Knuckles, all those women, even Alley Catch. These are women that do not fit that criteria, but are killing it in the game. So that's what kind of built my confidence, because if they can do that and make a name for themselves, then I know I can.
And then those are all women I definitely looked up to in my little wrestling journey. I've been a fan of wrestling since I was 6 years old. So growing up and getting to the size that I was, I wanted to get into wrestling. I won't lie. But I had medical conditions that I wasn't cleared to get into a ring myself. But seeing that representation in the wrestling world still gave me hope because I had a lot of other friends that were around my size that were interested in getting into it. And I was like, you got Awesome Kong out here. She's doing that shit. Go train. Go do that,
Exactly.
girl. So, did you ever feel like you had to shrink yourself to fit in?
I did. I really did. And that goes back to surrounding yourself with the right people, because the right people would not want you to shrink into their small little box. They will want you to break that box.
And when you did have to feel the need to shrink yourself, what changed that for you going forward? Were there still moments where you felt like that you needed to, and you just kind of brushed it off and ended up being yourself anyway, or are there still instances where you feel you have to do that?
Not so much anymore. I would like when I was backstage for like AEW or NWA, being there, I had that sense, that little itch, like you need to shrink yourself. Like these are like big people, these are big games, like big names. And it was, I had to kind of like rewire myself to, okay, these are people that are more successful than you, are doing better than you, but that does not mean you have to shrink yourself, but also remember to kind of stay in your lane and remember who you are. Um, you can still be yourself, but also make sure you kind of like don't overstep any boundaries.
All right. So getting more into your career and moments that shaped you, do you feel there was a moment in your career that really impacted you emotionally more than it did physically?
Um, I would say at the Burke Invitational, um, well, both pay-per-views that I did for NWA, I feel like that impacted me emotionally. Specifically, the Burke Invitational. That was my debut at such like a big promotion, and then there was a lot of people that were counting on me, and just going down the ramp and just hearing people scream for me, that was emotional, because I never thought that I would become who I was and make such like of a impact on a lot of people.
Was there a match or experience that changed how you saw yourself going forward for your career?
Mm, I can't really say. Well, I'm not sure, because I will say anytime that I wrestled at World Wrestling Extreme in New York, um, just like my debut match there with Jackie Go, just like the way that we have wrestled. So we were like the first match. I never wrestled Jackie, but I knew that she was good, and just being able to feel each other out in the ring, and even with El Valentine just being rough and not being safe, but like just brawling, and how people enjoy that is just like it felt real in that moment. And I knew exactly, okay, this is how we need to go. Like I don't need to brawl every single match, but like I know how it felt, making it feel real and make it, well, it was real, but um yeah, that that was like the aha moment for me.
So, was there a match or a moment in your career that you felt changed your trajectory moving forward in your career? Something that maybe got a little bit more spotlight on you and helped you get more bookings and get your name out, or just a match where everything started to click for Big Daddy?
Uh, Me against Faye Jackson at Bree Combination Wrestling. They loved that match. People were just when they saw that the flyer for it, they were like, "Oh my gosh, like that's excuse me, a wet dream for them." And even with Vanity, when people were seeing how like we used our character work, we were like having fun with it. That's what really got me like a lot more bookings.
So, what is something that didn't go your way during a match but helped you grow as a wrestler?
When I was up at WXWC4 up in Allentown, um, and this was when I was like first starting out. Um, that was where like I had a really bad ego too, where like things weren't going the way that they should. We were both kind of green and it was bad, and she wound up crying afterwards. And I remember this was before Jacob had like way before Jacob Fatu had got um signed. But and this was kind of like before anybody really knew who he was. But he pulled me aside and we were talking and I was like really bummed out about it. Um so he kind of gave me like some uplifting words and just like remember who you are, remember where you come from. Um and kind of like learning how to protect myself in that moment, but also learning how to protect my opponent because that was just it was just such a bad match.
And is for anybody who has never seen an Adrianna Mosley match, is there a match that you would recommend to somebody to watch where you felt the whole thing clicked, you had a great match, you were well represented, your character got across?
At oh Lord, Alpha, I'm so sorry. Is it Battlefield? Battlefield Pro Wrestling up in I don't it's somewhere in PA. It's way in the mountains. It was with me and Tiffany Grady. Um that was such a great match. I was able to get my character across. And Alpha had even said, I've never had a female match that had got so like so much what is that word? I forget what it's called. But
So much
Tiffany
positive feedback. We'll go with
yeah.
that.
Yeah. So to me, I was able to get my character across. Tiffany was able to get her character across, and she was able to get the heat that she wanted, and I was able to get the sympathy that I was able to get, well, wanted.
Someone did chime in on the chat, and I believe it is Broadheadsville where that promotion is.
Right, you're right. Sorry, say. Alpha's
No,
gonna kill me.
no worries. I forget where shows run all the time.
Yeah, it's like it's in
There's
literally
so
the
many
middle of
of them.
nowhere.
There's so many of them. It's hard to keep track.
Yeah, and he's everywhere.
So, what is something that people don't understand about being a woman on the independent scene?
They do not understand personal space and boundaries. Like and I will say this, and I got into an argument with a fan about this, and I was like, I've been having there are and Say and Stephanie can back me up on this. I've had so many fans that have been up in my personal space, touched me inappropriately, and have made inappropriate comments towards me. Now, if that was on the street, it'd be different. Like if I wasn't a professional wrestler, if I didn't have the profession that I had, you would have got these hands. But yeah, they don't understand personal space. And then they think that because they buy a ticket, yes, and called me a derogative term, man. Like they think that they can talk and treat women however they want. You're not going to treat me how I want. Like that's not going to happen. My bills are paid.
I,
Like,
I I literally made a post about this morning, going over WrestleMania weekend. There were, to what I saw, there was at least 7 people that had made reports about how fan interactions had gone. Two
yes.
of them, two of them being sexual assaults.
Yeah,
And that none of this should be happening.
it
Like
shouldn't.
fans, be better. Be better.
Like, please. And then they're like, they have this delusion about them where they think, oh, well, I didn't do anything wrong. Listen, you can imagine all you want. You can imagine me butt naked. Just don't let me know about it. And do not tell me.
Exactly. Exactly.
like,
Keep them dirty thoughts to yourselves.
like,
N-
please.
Nobody's obligated to our bodies or our time.
Exactly.
All right. So, has there ever been a moment in your career where you felt underestimated?
Um, yeah, a lot. Like, I don't want to name names, but um there are moments where I feel like, especially, and this comes with women's wrestling in general too, where we don't have really good storylines. And it's like, I come to a show, I put myself into a company, and you're not giving me like any effort, you're not giving me like a good storyline. It's just like, all right, I'm gonna just throw this match together, I'm just gonna pick a random girl off the indie scene, and you're just gonna wrestle. It's just like, what's the point? Like, what are you're not giving me a challenge. We're just gonna build her. You're just our champion, and we're just gonna give you just somebody. It's just, I hate that. I really
That's
do.
one of my biggest pet peeves.
Yeah, I'm just like, why am I here? Like,
One of my biggest pet peeves. There's a promotion local to me that they had one champion turnover, and it was like, okay, cool. Regularly you'd expect a rematch, and then they'd start building a story towards it. No rematch was given. He's been given random opponents since. No storyline has been built, and I'm just like, what are you guys doing? They're bringing in great talent to compete, but there's no stories, and I'm like, guys, you're killing me here.
like, you're just here. You're just here to just do whatever.
So, have you ever been compared to other wrestlers on the scene, and how do you handle those comparisons?
Nia Jax. I remember somebody with their crusty self had said that I'm a Dollar Tree Nia Jax, and Nia Jax is already cheap, so that says a lot. And I'm like, first of all, don't be saying that about women. Second of all, it's like, I think I knew who it was. It was just like some troll or whatever. But I don't know, like, a lot of people, they either um yeah, they'll compare me to Nia Jax, because I do the butt thing, Rikishi. Um, but I just take it as a compliment. Like, if you think I'm a superstar, I'm a superstar.
So, how do you stay motivated when progress feels slow?
um, I look back of where what I used to be. Like, people are probably gonna get tired of it, but I kind of go through like my memories and my old photos, and I look at how bad of shape I was, my wrestling methods, or how I wrestled, and I look at myself now, and I have really bad body dysmorphia. I think a lot of people do, but just looking at that reminds me that I need to keep going, because, and it's bad. Like, so my friend, one of my best friends, she used to do wrestling, and she left because she just lost her love for it. And I was telling her, I was like, I really feel like quitting wrestling. She's like, why? You've come so far and you're so close. And that kind of lit the fire under my butt, where it's like, okay, I need to keep going.
So, what does confidence look like for you today?
Um, I walk in the room like my name threatens everybody. Like, I have that aura where people like have to look at me, and like, I could be shaking in my boots. I could be just like, yo, I am a nobody compared to these people, but I'm still gonna not let people see that, and I'm gonna walk like I am the shit.
All right. So, what are you working towards right now in your career?
To maybe go international. I don't necessarily have to be international by the end of the year, but I definitely want to get into a different time zone. I know this past summer I was in California and Las Vegas, and I was just in Las Vegas last week. So I guess just learning different styles of wrestling because I noticed when I was over there and I was wrestling those people, it's a completely different style. Then eventually I would like to go to Canada and maybe Mexico. Um, so that's kind of like where I want to go, and then eventually get signed to WWE.
All right. And what do you think progress looks like for you at this stage?
That's a good question. I guess building reps against reputable people. I think that'd be progress for me.
Okay. Um, are you trying to build yourself to become a certain type of wrestler, and what do you want to be remembered for?
Yes, I want to be myself, and I want to be known. Um, like the best answer that I can give is,
Oh, damn it.
or like best comparison is Stephanie Vacure, or however you pronounce it. If I mispronounce it, I'm sorry. But how she
Come on. I'm still here. My
Oh,
camera
you're
just doesn't want to function. There we
it
go.
was like not today. Just the way she came into like WWE. She at first I didn't know who she was until she went against Mercedes Monet,
Hmm.
but just how she just like grasped everybody's attention and how she's so talented, but also remains the most kindest person ever, because you know when a lot of people get up to like WWE or even AEW, they become somebody different. um, just remembering that and how she uses her past where she came from nothing and she herself into something. I think that's kind of like what I want to be remembered by.
Absolutely. And just to even shout out some of those names that are now signed that stayed true to their roots and humble. I've been around the scene to become friends with a lot of people that are now moved on to bigger and better things, but names like Bust on the Brain, Jordan Oliver, and Alec Price, they was even after being signed, those guys are still cool as hell. Um, Bear Brunson, when he was signed, still another great talent. And now that he's back on the scene, and even with TNA now, he's still one of the nicest people I've ever met on the scene. Um, Carmelo Hayes, that's another one. I've known him since his debut, and another great name. But this is the one thing I always hope for. Anybody that makes it big, just remember your roots.
Yeah, I remember Jordan Oliver because I used to train with him. And I remember when he was just the scrawny kid with the little ponytail and the headband, and nobody really took him seriously. And then when he started becoming Jordan Oliver, then yeah, he really took off. And he's such a great person. He really is. I saw him last June, yeah, this past summer, and I was just like, "You have come such a long way." And it's like I felt like a little parent. It's like he's grown up so much.
Yep. Like I remember seeing him. I think I first met him about 8 years ago, and that was back when he was the little skinny boy. And back then, I think every match, like everybody in that arena, eat a cheeseburger. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
But he bulked up and skyrocketed.
He
And
definitely did.
we saw him, me and my boyfriend. We last saw him at a GCW show. This was what, a couple months ago. The last GCW we saw Jordan at. Yeah, it was what, February? Yeah, back in February we saw him, and he was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And like, He's always the first person. If he recognizes you, he's saying hi to you, no matter
Oh
what.
yeah, definitely. He's like, "Oh my gosh, so good to see you." And I'm just
Yep.
like, "Bro, why can't everybody be like this?"
I know. So where am I? Um, are there any types of moments in the scene that you are trying to chase, whether it be an opponent you're trying to face, a company you want to work for, or even a type of match stipulation you haven't done before?
Mm,
Or maybe even a title you haven't held before.
I would love to hold a men's title. Like
Hell yeah.
you never really see that. Like Notorious Mimi, she's held men's titles, and that's something I definitely want to have a good match, a good solid storyline, and a match with a man, and it's just like a big brawl battle.
As soon as you said that, there was one man that did come to mind that I feel you guys could go to absolute war, and I hope you're familiar with him because pretty sure his moniker is Brooklyn Big Boy or something like that. But Mr. Tyree Taylor,
Oh, Tyree,
I feel like you two could tear it up.
that's my boy.
I love Tyree,
He's such
love
a
him.
mess. Like I see some of his comments on Instagram, and I was just like, "Why are you like this?" And he's such a savage. I've known Tyree for years, and we used to go at it online. Oh my gosh, I gotta hit him up and see how he's doing. But
Oh,
he's such a good person. But
love
I
that
agree,
dude.
him and I would be like a really good storyline.
He was actually the first person that gave me my first experience of the New York Indies.
He's
Yep, it was I want to say it was maybe 2021, 2022. Um it was me, him, and Alec. He had dropped Alec off at a show for GCW, and we ended up. He had like a Juneteenth show or something, and he was supposed to go down for a show in Jersey, and that ended up getting canceled. So we went to like the meet and greet thing, and we get there, and I know like three people, and I am the only white person in sight. But luckily, like when we got there, like main event had like just left, and those were guys that I was super familiar with, but they ended up getting booked for GCW that night. So I was like, all right, well there goes some of my friends. I think I ended up spending the rest of that day with Big Game Leroy. Or wait, no, it wasn't that day. It was the day before or the day after I spent with him. But I think I just ended up chilling. I met mad people out there that were cool as hell. I got to smoke with Big Swole, so that was fun.
oh, I love baseball.
But it was a good time, and I've definitely been wanting to get back down there.
It was funny because when you said that you were like the only white person in the room. Somebody was making fun of me. So the first time that I had met Alex Kane, he was still with MLW, and he was actually doing that big Iron Man match with Jacob Fatu at the 2300 arena. And so he asked me to be in his Boomaye line. And somebody was like, "You stuck out like a sore thumb because you a light skinned person." And you just, he was like, "All I saw was her light skinned ass." Like glowing like a glow stick. I was hollering.
All right. So that is all the beefy questions about your career. So let's learn a little bit more about the personality behind Adrianna Mosley. All right. So if you had to create a faction of all anime characters, including yourself and one other female of five people, so you, one other female, and three other characters, who would you pick?
Ooh, myself. My homegirl that I work with. And you said three anime characters?
Yep.
Um, mm, had to look at my wall. Hmm. Mirko, Tanjiro, and Inosuke.
Hell yeah. All right. Your favorite fast food joint is offering the Adrianna Mosley value meal. Where is it from and what is in the meal?
Hmm. I don't really eat fast food.
We'll open it up to any restaurant. It won't even have to be a value meal. Just it's
A taco joint, and it's gonna be a big platter of tacos and a side of horchata.
all right. You are in a carload on your way home from a wrestling show, and the driver sees a karaoke bar and decides to stop. You are now forced to sing a karaoke song. What song do you pick?
Um, that's weird because I was just singing karaoke to my cat yesterday. Um, dang.
I know there's a lot of options.
Hold on, I gotta look at my Spotify list. Let me see. Um, because when I sing karaoke, I sing it to get on people's nerves. Um, probably Three Little Birds by Bob Marley.
All right. If you had to live in one season for the rest of your life, what season would you pick?
Fall.
Hell yeah. All right. You are now coming up my way. You're booked in Massachusetts, but you are only allowed to listen to 5 bands or artists along the way. Who are you picking?
Dayseeker, Sleep Theory, um, Avril Lavigne, Tommy Vexed, and who's the other one that I listen to all the time? Magnolia Park.
Ooh, such a good band.
They are
I've
so
been
good.
obsessed with
Oh,
Shallow for so long.
yes. Did you hear their new song?
I have not.
Dangerous is so good. Oh my goodness.
I'll definitely have to take a look at it after the stream. I've been copywritten before and I don't want to get it again. All right. And the last question, what is something about you that nobody would know unless they watched this podcast?
Mm. Everybody knows I like tacos. Um, that I enjoy fishing.
All right.
Yeah, people would know that.
Well, we have reached the last segment
I said I
of the
can't
podcast.
fight.
You can't fight. All right. Well, we have reached the last segment of the show that I like to call promo roulette. Oh, I just cut off real quick. Whoops. Huh. Well, promo roulette is a little segment where I like to have my guests shoot a promo on a random cartoon character. Usually this is picked by the previous guest, but WrestleMania week got in my head and I totally forgot to ask last week. So, seeing the Naruto fluorescent light behind my guest and my boyfriend being a Naruto fan, I let him pick the character, and I've learned my lesson with announcing anime character names. I slaughter them all the time. Kylon made fun of me for a solid 5 minutes when I mispronounced his name. So, we're going to go with this guy.
Oh, yes, that's my favorite character.
And you can
Shikamaru?
totally pronounce his name so I don't mess it up. So you can shoot a little promo on him whenever you are ready. Doesn't have to be super long. It can be as long as you want.
Oh man. Dang. I gotta try to say a promo without laughing. 'Cause- hold on, wait a minute. Naruto is not whack. Actually, you know what? That gave me the motivation. You know what is such a drag, Shikamaru? When people like say think that Naruto is whack. I don't stand for it. So on May 2nd, you're gonna get dragged out the ring and I'm gonna whoop your ass. That's the best I can do.
I've seen worse. I've seen worse. That was pretty solid.
I can't get the character. It's bad because my man's literally sitting right here and he's just like trying to make me break character. It's driving me nuts.
Well, that is everything I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me this week. Where can we find you in the upcoming weeks? Or if you are not in our area, where can we keep up with you on social media?
So I am booked. Where am I booked? I am wrestling at WWX up in New York for the Women's Grand Slam Championship in Queensboro, New York. Yeah. And then the following week after that, I'll be at 1CW. And then I'm taking some time off until May 30th, and I'll be in Virginia at Virginia Championship Wrestling. But if you can't make it, I'm on Facebook at Adrianna Mosley or Instagram at, Big Daddy Adri with 2 eyes.
All right. Well, thank you so much again for joining us this week. And to everyone at home, thank you all for tuning in. I slacked this week and did not come up with the graphic for next week's guest, but I'm still going to tell you anyway, and you'll find all the graphics for that on my social media. But next week, we will be back with the hardcore hoochie daddy, JB Anderson. And
Oh,
with that, Miss Adrianna, I need you to pick a cartoon character for him to shoot a promo on next week.
oh. And I know JB too. I should get him somebody really hard.
And he's the king of promos in my opinion.
Yeah,
So
he is. I thought it was funny. Just he was like doing his hardcore match, and I was just sitting there at the bar drinking and stuff. And I was just like, I have a little drink. I'm gonna go on my anime wall, see, so I can.
Tommy Pickles.
Yes,
Tommy
thank you,
Pickles. I
Stephanie.
like
Tommy
that.
Pickles, that would be a good one.
All
We could do
right.
Tommy Pickles.
So JB will be here next week to shoot a promo on Tommy Pickles. And with that being said, that is all we have for you guys this week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you next week. Have a good one.